Let's bring in Joe Siracusa in Melbourne, Australia. He's an inaugural professor of global futures at Curtin University. Good to have you back with us, Professor. There are reports now that the US and Iran are preparing to resume nuclear negotiations after those unprecedented Israeli strikes on Iran. Do you believe that? Do you see that happening? The two sides to sit down once more and discuss the nuclear ambitions of Tehran?
Oh, absolutely. And good afternoon, Oscar. Look, we had these same conversations with North Korea for about 15 years until the conversations ran out. I mean, the idea is to limit these things. And of course, as your viewers may or may not know, nations that belong to the NPT, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, come in very different kinds of sizes and colors. I mean, there are 9 nuclear-powered states, and 3 of them don't answer to the NPT or the rules of law: India, Pakistan, and Israel. I mean, they never joined, so therefore they're not subjected to the rules that Iran is. So Iran will say that they will sit down and negotiate, and they said they don't want nuclear weapons. True enough, but there's no forever in politics, and that all they're interested in is the ability or the right to enrich uranium. And I think Trump would give them that. And of course, the only way to stop the Iranians cold, that's without killing everybody, and they're 92 million, is to occupy the country. The United States is not going to occupy the country. Israel is what, 7-8 million people? They're not going to occupy anybody, as a matter of fact, except Gaza and the neighboring areas around them. So it's one of these things that Trump is looking for Iran to do is just play a role here, saying that they will cooperate. And of course, what he really wants out of Iran is he wants them to back off so he can continue the normalization of relations with Israel through the Abraham Accords, and so he can do business diplomatically, economically, militarily in the area. So he wants Iran to play the role. And at the end of the day, Donald Trump, does take North Korea. He doesn't really care if North Korea has nuclear weapons. He wants North Korea to make sure that they don't point them at the United States or its allies. So you can't stop a nation from acquiring a nuclear weapon. And of course, the Iranians have the economic wherewithal. They have the scientific expertise. And Oscar, at the end of the day, you can still buy a nuclear weapon off the old Pakistani AQ Khan grid, where he used to sell these kinds of weapon systems to North Korea and other people. You can buy these things off the shelf. So, but look, Trump just wants Iran to play the game, and the Iranians have been playing diplomacy for a couple thousand years. The United States today, by the way, is only 249 years old. Give you an idea who's been playing this game longer. I think the Iranians will come to the table. They'll say what they have to say in order to get those sanctions lifted off them, and to get the cash flowing in, and to allow Donald Trump to claim that he has solved another problem. He hasn't solved the problem, but in the short term, he will. And of course, for Donald Trump, everything is short term, Oscar.
Okay, Professor Joe Siracusa, we'll have to leave it there. And of course, this comes ahead of Netanyahu's visit to Washington, we're expecting next week. We'll keep an eye on that. For now, thank you as always for joining us.
Okay, thank you.